これからクリーニングを始めます。選曲ボタン3を押してください。
Now cleaning starts. Please push the selection button number 3 when you hear the beep.
Boy, this is f***ing ponderous, man. Ponderous, f***ing ponderous.
Ice! Cold! Lemon! Ice cold lemonade! Ice! Cold! Lemon! Ice cold lemonade!
Oh my goodness, look at you all. Not one of you has aged a day. When was the last time I saw, was it about 2 years ago now? And you all look still young, still. And you still do, you still do. I mean, maybe a little more tired and wise and sadder, and maybe a bit more sickly and pale, but you're all basically the same. Let me fill you in on what I've been up to these past few years. After taking out a second and then a third mortgage, I have reached a level OT8, which means I am now capable of preventing women with just my mind from approaching me at bars while I wear my crisp Sea Org whites. What else? I finally learned to play the hurdy-gurdy with an emphasis on early 1970s Scandinavian death metal. I went back to school and finally earned my dental hygienist degree that I've been working on for years. It's all through Skype, which should make my first cleaning on a live patient and not my pillow that much more interesting. I've also put out a few books. If you're still listening, here they are. Welcome to Woodmont College, a college catalog of the world's most mediocre boutique college that just happens to cost $150,000 a year. That is out through McSweeney's. I co-wrote that with the great Jason Roeder of Onion and McSweeney's fame. Jason came up with the famous headline, "No way to prevent this, says only nation where this regularly happens." He's also written a few books and a ton of pieces for McSweeney's. He's brilliant. Check out the book. And Passing on the Right, a memoir from the world's worst far-right comedy figure, Skippy Batty Battison. That is available in print, digital, and audio. Guess who plays Skippy in the audio version? No, not Greg Gutfeld. Me! Finally, I wrote I Am Super Pumped. Let's do this shit! Which is a digital-only book that I put out after my disastrous PR campaign for Passing on the Right. A campaign that I spent thousands on with a so-called publicity expert. The book is a collection of conversations between me and this asshole leading up to and during and then after the campaign, and it's all based on reality. Beyond that, 2 of my earlier books, Stinker Lets Loose and Randy, will be re-released this month through Simon & Schuster and Archway Editions. New material, a new look, same stinker taste. Stinker and Randy hitting that big time. Available everywhere. So, a lot of things are happening and I'm keeping busy. And yet, believe it or not, I sort of missed all of you. All those people I'd yabber to a few times a month with my ramblings. I am not a social person, but I missed sitting in my room in my boxers next to my record collection and my precious Franklin Mint Gone with the Wind Hummel figurines, just rapping to you about all this shit. Well, I'm back. It's not going to be every week, maybe not even every 2 weeks, just whenever I feel like it, probably monthly. It'll be like Fugazi releasing a 7-inch whenever they felt like it, and then selling it at Yesterday and Today Records on Rockville Pike. It's just like that, except totally different. I'd like to thank Sonar for giving me the opportunity to do this. It's incredibly nice of them, and I very much appreciate it. I'd also like to thank Rob Schulte, the world's best producer, and I'm not just saying that because he's producing these very words. He's incredible. It's hard to imagine that we've been working together now for, 7 years or so? He was just a young lad working in a coffee shop in Kansas when I discovered him drinking a milkshake at Schwab's in Los Angeles. So the format for this podcast is not different from what I used to do, what came before. Each episode will last about 15 to 20 minutes. There will be a lot of found audio from radio and television that I used to collect back in Maryland and New Orleans pre-internet. Each show will contain one comedy bit written by me. Think National Lampoon Radio Hour meets Garrison Keillor without the nose whistling or that awful, unfunny Garrison Keillor. Overall, doing it with Mike Sachs will be an audio snack to enjoy while folding your religious garments. Nothing more or less. Feel free to email me. I love to hear from you. MikeBSachs@gmail.com, and that's Sachs, S-A-C-K-S. Not S-A-K-S, not S-A-C-H-S, not S-A-X, not S-A whatever. And that's it. You can go about your day. No muss, no fuss. It takes as long as a Duolingo language lesson. You can do other things while you're listening is what I'm trying to say. For instance, right now I'm vacuuming and sticking a Q-tip to check for wet tail up my hamster's ass. You can do the same. So on today's particular show, I shall feature as the main event Mike Sachs, Hostage Negotiator. But first, this week's letter, which for some reason arrived on the back of a Washington, D.C. parking ticket. Actually, this is a real letter, and I am reading it for the first time now. I thought it would be more exciting. And this comes from Mark T., Cleveland, Ohio. Dear Mike, have you ever interviewed anyone who was a jerk? Okay, good question. I have interviewed a lot of people for a couple books I've written, and I interview people for a New Yorker. I'm sometimes referred to as a comedy historian or some such ridiculous similar title. I hate titles like that. I am not an expert on anything. I like what I like, and I just try to tell others about it. I'm just more of a fan, really, than an expert on anything. More selfishly, when I do conduct interviews, it's only really to speak to someone whose work has meant a lot to me. Interviewing was never my goal in life. I'm very happy to have found my way into this niche, but as a kid, I wanted to be, in order, a brain surgeon, a military pilot, and then a comedy writer. And yet journalism was a talent reserved for people who actually knew people who had degrees. I did not know anyone, nor did I know anyone who knew anyone. I was sort of on Mars. I still am in many ways, spacewalking in a direction opposite of what the masses seem to want. Back to your question, did I ever interview a jerk? Yes, I did, and I can now tell you her name because she is now deceased. Her name is Ann Beats. Ann Beats was an original member of the National Lampoon, and she was the girlfriend of Michael O'Donoghue. And supposedly, allegedly, reportedly, she was involved with one of the greatest National Lampoon fake ads, which was the Volkswagen ad in which the Volkswagen could float, and thus saving Ted Kennedy and his date the night they flipped over in Chappaquiddick. Why was she not nice? I have no idea. I don't mind if someone is shy or has an ego. In fact, having an ego really helps with an interview. She was not either. She was just mean, and I don't like mean people. I had enough of it growing up, and I don't want to deal with them any longer. So that interview ended. That's the only time this has ever happened. I ended it after about 10 to 15 minutes. So there you go, Ann Beats. And actually, she was later featured by Carrie Fisher in an episode of 30 Rock with Tina Fey, and Carrie Fisher was playing an Ann Bates type character who wrote on the original version of the show that was being produced. It was the SNL type show, and if you watch that episode, you'll see not a nice person. Anyway, let's get on with the show. This episode segment is called Mike Sachs, Hostage Negotiator.
Mike Sachs, Hostage Negotiator.
Talk to me, Captain.
Perp is a white, 30-ish male, name of Ronald. Don't have a last name. Disgruntled about his wife leaving him for another man. Took 4 to 5 hostages in a donut shop. Claims to have a bomb.
What does he want?
To talk to his wife.
That is impossible.
Why?
She probably doesn't want to talk to him.
Probably not, but he wants to talk to her.
Oh, this is a disaster already. This is spinning out of control, man. I mean, can you not see that this one is going to be a real roller rink pickle?
You ready to take the lead on this?
I guess, but I do hate talking on the phone. Is there a way to do this by fax? I also hate texting or email.
He's on my cell phone.
Ronald, this is Captain Peterson. I have Mike Sachs on the line for you. He's our department's specialized hostage negotiator. Anything you need, you just tell him, okay? He's here to help. He's on your side.
Ronald, typically I hate talking on the phone, but I will make an exception this time.
I want to talk to Beth.
Talk to me first, pal. Let's settle this without any violence, okay?
I just want to talk to her. I want to know why she left me.
Why do you think she left you?
What? I don't know.
Sure you do. Can I take a wild stab here? You lost another job.
Yeah? Is she out there? How'd you know?
Because I've been doing this a long time, bro. And I'm guessing she hooked up with another certain someone, a guy you're probably real friendly with, right?
Yeah.
Probably taller, more chiseled, flatter stomach, and she's making motions of leaving you again, this time for good.
Yeah.
Heard it a million times. Do you think she has a point, though?
Huh? A point?
Just the tiniest bit of a point, like a good reason to split.
I don't know.
I think you do.
Probably. God, I'm such a failure.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. Here's what I want to know now. How many people are currently being held as your, let's say, special guests?
I don't know, 5, maybe 6. There was an old man, but I don't see him now. He might have crawled somewhere.
Are the ones remaining comfortable, or any experiencing any health-related issues?
No.
Are any of the women smoking hot? Have you seen any of them nude?
No.
So why are we here, Ronald? Can we make all this real simple and just release them? Do I really need to be standing on Rockville Pike with all these cars whizzing by, all these hundreds of looky-loos standing around me? Do we not both have better things to be doing?
No, I don't. I have nothing, and you'll just arrest me or kill me.
Kill you? I'm not going to kill you. That's what these armed-to-the-teeth SWAT team members are for. But that's not happening now. For now, let's spin this in a positive way. You're young, right? You have so much to live. How old are you, Ronald?
I'm 54.
Whoa, okay, well, you have some time left to make this all right. This is not your first marriage, I take it.
It is. I got married late.
I'll say. Let me guess, problems with women throughout the years.
Yeah.
Always their fault, though, right? Never Ronald's fault.
I don't...
Okay, just calm down. Let's get to the crux of the problems in your life. Why did you lose your job?
It's not my fault.
Like not being able to keep women is not your fault? What happened?
I worked at Haberman's, operating the forklift. They accused me of stealing. I didn't.
What do they accuse you of stealing?
A bag of cement. They saw me loading it into my car.
So you did steal?
I just said I didn't. It was going to be thrown out anyway.
But you're making little sense. You're circling around and around like a person who was born on a merry-go-round. You're saying you didn't steal the cement, but you did take it because it was going to be thrown out anyway? How do you know that?
I just do.
You just assumed that the bag of cement was going to be thrown out, so you fork-loaded it straight into your trunk.
They pay me nothing. Why shouldn't I have?
Your boss is watching the live video feed one afternoon, right? Just minding his own business, and he sees you forklifting a heavy bag of concrete into your car's trunk, and then you tell him that the company is going to throw it out anyway, and what's the big deal? You're working for peanuts, all jobs have their perks. Why can't you just take this bag of cement? Who's going to get hurt?
I didn't say that, but yeah, I guess.
And you were going to rebuild something around the house, right? Like something your wife's been nagging you to do for years and years, and that's why you needed the concrete.
Yes, the front stoop. People keep tripping on it.
How long have they been tripping on it?
A while.
A while as in what?
A few years.
And even your own friends have been griping about it. When they're even allowed to come over, that is, which is a rare occurrence because your wife doesn't trust them around the kids.
Only Tim, but yeah.
And she doesn't trust you around the kids.
No. Kid. I only have one.
Or so she doesn't trust you around the kid. And then there are your wife's best friends. And they're saying, hey, check out the entrance to this house. It hasn't been fixed in years. What exactly is Ronald doing with his time? Just watching football and betting online and getting fucked up with his best buds and losing all of his jobs? Am I right?
Yeah,
Ronald, do you think your wife and her friends might just have a point?
I don't know.
Just the tiniest amount of being right.
Maybe. But that's why I was trying to fix it. And that's why I want to talk to her. She doesn't return my calls. She kicked me out. And she doesn't respond to my emails. This is the only way to do it. Beth!
Have you tried faxing her?
What? No. Why? I don't have a fax.
Ronald, how many jobs have you lost in the past couple of years? 3, 4?
5.
5.
Yeah.
5 really seems to be your lucky number.
No, I guess.
Let's start with the job before this one. Were you still driving a forklift?
No, I was working at BJ's at their loading dock. I was the assistant manager, working nights. Things would come through and I'd mark them down, and if they didn't, I'd call the main warehouse.
This is what you wanted in your life?
No, I wanted more. I've always wanted more.
Were you fired from this shit job?
Yes, 6 months. I worked there 6 months.
And it wasn't your fault?
No, they accused me of stealing a couch.
Did you?
Yes, but my wife was bitching about finally getting a couch that wasn't ripped or burned from cigarettes, and I couldn't afford one.
So you just stole it?
I guess. I had to make her happy, man. She's never fucking happy.
I'm starting to see why. And before that, what job did you have?
Lawn care company.
And you stole a lawnmower because your wife was haranguing you about the lawn being overgrown.
No.
Ronald, are you telling a wiggy?
What's a wiggy?
That's what my aunt used to call it when I would tell a lie as a child, that I was telling a wiggy. Are you telling a wiggy?
I want to talk to my wife. That's all I want, just to talk to her. Get Beth here.
I'm afraid that's impossible, Ronald. For now, I'm your wife. Tell me what you would want to tell her.
Why? Just get her here already, or get me on the radio.
The radio? Who the fuck listens to the radio anymore?
Who faxes anymore?
I don't like your lip, bro. This ain't the Ronald show.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I should just come out. Maybe I'm not so bad after all.
Hang on a sec. Talk to me. I'm Beth, okay? Talk to me as you would your wife. Let's try this. Just try it. That's all I'm asking. What is the worst that could happen, besides the SWAT team rushing in and shooting you to death? I'm joking. That's not going to happen for a while, if at all.
Okay.
Okay, go.
Well, you're a bitch.
Why exactly am I a bitch? Because I can't stand your wiggies? Or you losing job after job? Or you burning holes with your cheap-ass cigarettes at the couch? Or you not taking the kids to school when I need to get to work myself to do a job that I actually want to keep? Where I'm making enough money to actually get us food and all the things that we desperately require to go on living?
'Cause you left me.
For stealing the cement or telling so many wiggies? Yeah, I left you. What are you stealing cement for anyway? I was complaining about the front steps needing to be fixed, but you didn't need to steal any cement. How stupid is that? Just how dumb is that? How much does a bag of cement even cost? $10, $12?
You kept asking me to do it!
Yeah, because our house looks like shit, and even the kids are embarrassed. When was the last time we even made love?
I don't know. You refuse. That's another thing. Why?
Why? Because maybe you smell like a petting zoo when you get home, and you stop going to the gym and jogging, and you've worn the same goddamn Little Feet t-shirt for the past 18 years. Your fingers smell like Doritos. Your breath stinks like yesterday's dreams. Maybe that's why? Listen, Ronald, this is Mike now, not Beth. I hate talking on the cell phone. It hurts my ear. Mind if I switch to a bullhorn, and you can just yell out the donut shop's window?
No, I just maybe want to leave. I don't want to ruin my life. I just want to talk to my wife.
Perfection. Tell me why you want to live. What does Ronald do that is special?
He plays video games.
Okay, anything of maybe more substance? And what kind of movies does Ronald like to watch?
Adam Sandler type stuff.
Oh, jeez. TV shows?
Reality mostly.
My God. Books? Do you read books?
I love James Patterson. I've read everything he's written. C.J. Box. Clive Cussler.
Clive, nothing better?
No.
What kind of life is this?
My life!
I know, but is it the type of life that made you walk into this donut shop this morning and attempt to hold up 5 hostages with a bomb?
Yes, because you're sleeping with Phil, and you kicked me out. And I'm living behind the Safeway on the Pike and eating rotten fruit and washing up at the gas station. I hate my life. I hate it.
Well, Phil has a job.
Are you Mike or Beth?
Beth again, you're a child. Phil's a real man. He at least has good taste in TVs and movies.
He was my best friend. Why would he do this to me? Why would you? I thought you loved me.
Because he doesn't stink, and he knows his way around the female anatomy. He ain't poking at my cooch like a spastic monkey at an anthill with a creek stick.
Oh, God! Jesus, what have I done?
Hang on, Ronald. Hang on, okay? This is my cell phone ringing. This is my own cell phone. Jesus, it's my wife. Ronald, hang on a sec. I have to get this.
Hello? Yes? Oh, yeah, now's the perfect time to tell me that we're due over to Linda and Harold's at 8 o'clock tonight, and could I pick up some wine? Yeah.
Is that your wife?
Yeah, I just said it was.
What's she asking?
She's bitching about her own day at work. She manages a healthcare company in Germantown. They're short over there due to people being out sick. Like all this is my worry.
And that's your problem, why?
Exactly.
Instead of complaining, just listen to it and get it over with.
Now you're the wise one here, the wife whisperer? Actually, it's not bad advice.
No, I was talking to someone else, a guy holding a bomb in a donut shop.
Play it to me making you stay late. Really play it up. You don't have a choice. I'm making you.
You know what? You're better with women than you might think, Ronald.
Honey, I'll be home as soon as I'm done with this fucking loser, I promise, and we'll go to the dinner party, okay?
Why would you call me a loser?
I did not.
I heard you.
All this thinking to store anything. I hate bullhorns.
Goodbye, honey. Yes, okay, I'll pick up wine. Fine. 1 bottle of fancy white wine for the dinner party. She's gone.
Lord, this one. Okay, but I want to say this, Ronald. Really not bad advice. You are not as horrible with women as I might have expected. Maybe you're not the total and complete fucking disaster everyone else thinks you are.
God, I'm tired. Maybe I'll just come out. I don't want to hurt anyone or anyone to hurt me. I'm just really tired.
Oh, you're tired, Jesus. Deal with my wife.
Bad?
You're lucky you only married once. I thought I'd get it right the 3rd time. Has not happened.
You want to talk about it?
What's to talk about? She's like you. She watches reality TV shows. She reads garbage. I watch classics on the Criterion Channel. She loves fast food. I enjoy ethnic food served at nice family-owned restaurants. She's a fan of Kenny Chesney. I love classical alternative. I love The Fall, Wedding Present. Who else? Cure, Early Cure, Elvis Costello. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like my wife. I mean, sometimes she's great, but other times...
We'll get to all this later, Ronald. We'll get to all this later.
Okay.
Ronald, what is your dream job?
Dream job?
Yeah, if you could do anything you wanted, what would it be? Sky's the limit. Today's a magical day for old Ronnie. Make it happen.
Are you Beth still?
No, I'm Mike. Just plain old Mike dealing with a really cool dude named Ronald. So what would you do if you had your druthers?
Druthers?
Yeah, if you could do anything you wanted, what would you do?
I guess if I could do anything? That is after I got back with Beth and reunited with my daughter? I'd want to write a book.
Interesting, yeah.
What?
Well, how do I put this? You might as well have said, I want to be a famous cowboy, or I want to be a fireman, or I want to fly to the moon on the muscular back of a sexy-ass unicorn.
Why?
Have you written anything before, let alone a book?
No.
So you want to write a James Patterson type of book, a book of literature?
I guess. I have ideas.
Ronald, I've written a few books. That's not bragging. That's just a fact. It's like you losing jobs. It's just what I do. Writing is a marathon, and it never ends. And when it does end, it just starts up again. And that's if you can even get an agent. And if you do somehow get an agent, they're going to want you to tweak your idea to the point where it's no longer something you'll recognize or even be happy with. So then you're stuck with a product that won't sell to a publisher and that you don't even like. All this can take years. On top of that, if an agent is interested in what you want to write about, here's what's most likely going to happen.
It'll be purchased, if you're lucky, by a young editor at a smaller publishing house, right? The problem with that is that these editors are too low on the editorial ladder. The purchase, it won't mean a thing. The book will be taken over by a top editor who's older and who won't get it, and then will promptly be ignored by the 20-something Gen Zer on the marketing team, okay? Beyond all of that, publishers pay you in quarterly installments. So say you're lucky and get, I don't know, $12,000 for this book. That means that you'll receive $3,000 upon signing, $3,000 when the editing is finished, $3,000 when the book is finally published, and then $3,000 down the road. And that too can be in years. But guess what? Guess who gets 15% of that $3,000 at each and every step? And guess who gets 45% of that? Right, old man government. So we're looking at that initial $12,000, which seemed pretty good at first. After all the smoke and dust clears, you're talking at most $5,000 and change. You would never be able to quit any blue-collar job that you'd be lucky enough to have due to your really awful resume. What would you want to write about?
Maybe I don't want to write a book.
No, just tell me, what would you want to write about if you had your druthers? And now you know what that means.
My life, I guess? Adventures.
Adventures. What about it? What adventures?
Just stuff I've done. People I've known. Scrapes I got into.
I'm going to sound like a real douchebag here, but you do need to hone in on exactly what you want to write about. Does this idea for a book have a hook?
A hook?
Yeah, why should anyone walking past the airport bookstore take the time and effort to stop to buy this imaginary book? Why would they want to read about a guy who's been fired over and over and over and who never gets laid and who tells wiggies?
I lived a crazy life.
Come on, man. How crazy could it have been? Do you know how many times I've heard this from Hostage Take? Tell me one interesting thing. If you were in an elevator right now with a literary agent, what would you tell that agent?
I shot a man in the army.
Shot a man in the army. That's something people would want to read about? Why? Did that make you a hero?
Because I was in the brig for years. And I saw some weird shit.
What's the brig?
The jail. Army jail.
Fine. What did you see in jail? What did you see in the brig?
People being shanked. Guards killing people and denying it. Crazy shit like that.
And why were you in the brig?
Some bullshit sergeant asshole pushed me too many times. I stood up for myself, like I needed to.
Ronald, are you telling yet another wiggy?
No! Yes!
What did you really do? You stole.
Yeah.
Something from out of the base's military exchange, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
A gaming system, Nintendo Switch, or something like that. Those games you like to play all day long.
A drone.
A drone. Just for the fun of it, right? Just a big, silly kid who's never grown up playing with a pricey toy he stole. Wants to fly it above the base and take some kooky videos. Probably of the female soldiers changing from out of their military gear. Ronald, have you ever seen that? Nude female soldiers, maybe holding rifles and bayonets?
Sure, I guess.
Wow, pretty cool. See, that would be fun to read about. I'd read a book about that. How many years did you get in the brig?
I got 6, but they let me out in 5.
5 really does seem to be your lucky number, Ronald.
Yeah, you've said that before.
Oh, excuse me for repeating myself. I guess we can't all be creative types like you. Ronald, this bullhorn is giving me a headache. I'm going to be switching back to the cell phone. Pick up your cell phone now, please. Ah, that's better.
Can I talk to Beth?
Ronald, I want you to do something for me. Would you do something real simple for me?
Come out?
Not that simple. Something a little more nuanced. You have a bomb in there, right?
Yes.
Is it real?
Yes.
I doubt that, but I'll stick with this premise. I want you to come out of that donut shop and I want you to yell up at the sky. I know this sounds weird, but I would love for you to just mosey on out of that donut shop and give a big old scream up to the sky.
Why? No.
Do you remember when we were talking earlier about selling books to literary agents? It wasn't that long ago, right?
Yeah.
So this is my thinking. If you come out holding a bomb and you yell at the sky to the heavens above, all these thousands of people now watching this hostage situation taking place, they all have cameras. They all have iPhones. They'll see you and they will film you, and there's a very good chance you'll become an internet sensation. My point, Ronald, is that all of this can help you sell your book. Make sense? It's certainly not going to be your ideas.
I guess.
That's why I'm here and you're in there.
No, I want to talk to my wife, and I want to talk on the radio and give my demands.
Again with the radio. How about a CB or a smoke signal? I'm telling you, Ronald, this is truly the best way for all of this to end. Just pick up the bomb very carefully and come on out. Everything will be fine. I'm back on the horn. Ronald, I'm telling you, if you want to sell a book, if you want to improve your standing in life, I think this is the best way. I really do. Now, granted, full disclosure, writing has been a struggle for me too, okay? I'll admit it. It's not easy for anyone. That's why I've taken on this full-time gig, to be able to afford to write. And that is why I'm now a professional hostage negotiator with quasi-certification from an online course. So you can trust me on this. If you appeal to the public, Ronald, you'll eventually have a book published, and that will change your life. Now, it might be self-published, but that's fine, because at least you'll have a book on your shelf, something tangible. And once that happens, anything can happen. You can sell the book rights, or you can republish with a big publishing house. That's what I dream of doing with this book I'm working on now.
You're writing a book? About what?
This, talking to fucking nut jobs like you.
Are you going to write about me?
If you want me to, I will. I help your book, you help mine, everyone wins. That's pretty cool. Otherwise, you'll have to rely on some of these so-called great stories you have from the Army. Just out of curiosity, tell me one, just one cool story from the Army. Have you ever seen a totally nude female soldier? Maybe holding a rifle, maybe a blade attached or something?
No! I guess nothing much happened.
Right, which is my point. So come out, Ronald, and make something happen. For once in your fucking life, do something.
I'm scared! I miss Beth!
Ronald, the SWAT team is just about to burst in. They look angry, and that ain't no wiggy.
Wait, they're coming in? The SWAT team?
Yeah, all 20 of them. They look as mean as Junkyard Dog. Come on out now holding the bomb, Ronald. Maybe walk backwards to make it that much stranger and more memorable. Yell up in the sky, and let's get this goddamn show.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, Jesus. Your kill rate is now what, 88%?
This guy, man, he couldn't even do that right. Can't win at lose. Here's your cell phone back, and you will know where to find me.
At the library, pissing the day away because your third wife can't stand you?
Not true. The library is where I do my best thinking and sleeping and writing and shitting. Fare thee well, Captain. Do me a favor and find that old man who crawled out before. I hope he's still alive. Okay, scrap that. Might you know of a wine store within walking distance that has good, cheap white wine?
Mike Sachs, Hostage Negotiator.
That's it for this episode of Doing It with Mike Sachs. I'm back, and so are you. I wonder what Judge John Hodgman is now doing. Maybe twirling his funny little mustache? I'd like to thank you for listening. I sincerely appreciate it. I'd like to thank Sonar for giving me this opportunity. I'd like to thank Rob Schulte, the world's best producer, Ted Travelstead, who played Ronald the hostage taker, and Dan Kennedy, our resident drummer who played a drum solo that you heard earlier, whether you know it or not. So until the next episode, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for my doodads.
Congratulations! By this time, you should have successfully gone through the first 4 dance steps in Let's Disco, and you're now ready to put them to music. Just to give you an idea of how this record is put together, we've set up the instructions in 4 sections. The walking steps and 4-beat turn, the touch steps and the 2-beat turn, the camel walk and camel walk kick, and finally the triple or syncopated steps. We'll take each of these steps individually, talking you through them slowly at first, then to a normal 4-beat count, and finally to the music. Be sure to keep the book handy in case you have problems. One additional word of advice: you have to listen closely, or you can easily get behind when listening to this record. If that happens, simply go back to the beginning of the cut and start over. With some patience and a little practice, we'll soon have you disco dancing with the best. So let's listen to the music, relax, and have fun. Good luck.
これでクリーニングは終了しました。ディスクはサウンド終了後自動的に停止します。
Cleaning has been completed. The disc will stop automatically when the sound finishes.
Boy, this is f***ing ponderous, man. Ponderous, f***ing ponderous.